Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jenny Moo and my channel's name is Jenny Moo Financeware. In this video, I'm going to give you negotiation tips for if you're applying for a new job or if you're negotiating for a raise at your current job. I've researched this topic a lot when I was applying for my current job, and also when I was job hunting like 2 years ago. I did extensive research on negotiation tips, and I didn't find that a lot of the tips were helpful because they were all like blanketing information and none of it was actually tailored to what I needed specifically. So I hope this video will be able to provide you with some tips that are going to be able to help you negotiate your raise or negotiate your initial salary at your new job. My first tip is one that I have never seen anybody else talk about, but it's called reading the situation. So a lot of jobs are very different in terms of how many people they have applying, what's the level of tier that I would say that people are, how competitive is it, how much do they want to hire you specifically. You have to think about these and kind of leverage your unique qualities to help you get a higher starting wage. When you understand your situation, for example, if you're applying like a server job or a hostess job, that's entry level with a very low barrier to enter. So now you're competing with such a vast pool of people with very low qualification level. But as soon as you work more technical jobs, then you have a lot more to offer based on your previous experience. My second step is to be clear on what you want and know your priorities, because there are so many aspects into going to a new job or your first job. There's obviously base pay, sign-on bonus if it's offered, time off, vacation, sick days, working from home, meals if they're provided. There's a lot of things that are included in a compensation plan that we don't even think about. For example, like health insurance or 401ks if the company offers them. My third tip is if you're applying for a new job or you're applying for a raise, you need to know the competitive rates or just know the general wages around whatever that position is with how much experience you have. The more knowledge you have before you go into an interview, the better, because you want to be able to equip yourself with concrete numbers. So every time I go to an interview, I have my low end range to my high end range of what I'm expecting. And then I want to fall somewhere in the middle of that range, preferably somewhere towards the higher ends. And you always have a number in your mind. For example, after you read the room, you kind of gauge, okay, they're probably going to offer me around this much. Market value is around this much. So it's kind of more so for you to know and then them to kind of like guesstimate. So if you're applying for a new job, something that's going to really help you in your negotiation is knowing the job requirements inside and out, and then using that to tailor your resume to it, which I mentioned in my previous video here. But also in an interview process, you focus on your work experience or your previous school experience that relates to that job, because then you're going to play into what they're looking for since you researched it. My fifth tip is to always stay professional and courteous, because you don't ever want to have nervous energy or be overexcited or be very, very insecure, because you want to present yourself very confidently and very professional, because they want to hire you and they want to believe in you and think you could do the job. You don't want to present any sort of face that you're like unsure of anything or have like too much doubt. Like every time I go into an interview, I'm extremely confident because I feel like I'm the prize that they are trying to win. Actually, the right mentality is thinking it's a win-win situation. For example, they want to hire me and I will be able to help their company. So it's always going to be a give and take, but always know that you have the upper hand, because you are the one who has a decision at the end of the day if you're gonna accept that job or not. Now let's say that you've been in your job like 6 months to maybe a year, and you're thinking, okay, I had my initial negotiation, I got this job, I'm feeling comfortable with what I'm doing, now I'm ready to negotiate a raise. So what is the first steps to doing that? The first step in negotiating a raise is to keep an ongoing project list of everything that you have completed since you started. And I did this at every single job. I wrote down everything I worked on specifically to the project, how much it created more efficiencies, and I put concrete numbers, like if I increase a project by like 80% time, or if I reduce labor by 30%. Make sure that you have concrete numbers and actual names of projects. And even if you want to put like a timeline of how long you worked on these projects, this is very important, because this is your leverage that you're going to bring into negotiating for a raise. My current job is a unique situation because you may know that I only worked 3 weeks before the corona closure. So I only had 3 weeks to make an impression, which we have 6-month probation at my job. I ended up training people at my job on my first day. So they quickly saw the value and what I could bring. not only from a technological skill point, but business acumen and just overall. I would say I was really quick to learn their systems. Like, I learned exponentially faster than anybody else. And I also provided solutions for problems that they had before I started for several years. Just to give you an example, I'm working on updating a recipe book that hasn't been touched in 5 years, that was built with a lot of automation and macros that were written by someone that's no longer with the company, that's far more advanced than I am. And I was able to update it in one day, and no one has been able to do this in years. So this is definitely going to be a huge leverage point for when I do talk about negotiating a raise or my next position, because you have to think about the solutions that you're bringing to the table that is solving a problem that people actually have, because that is going to be your unique qualities that you need to play up. My next step for negotiating a raise, after you start making your project list of everything you brought and the unique solutions you brought to actual problems people have, is to bring it up. You need to tell whoever your superior is at your current job that you're interested in a higher position, and asking them what skills or requirements they need for you to achieve to get that new position. For example, I'm an analyst, technically senior now, but I was looking for a manager position, so I asked my director, what are your expectations for me if I was going to become a manager? What kind of knowledge or skills do I need to hone to get that position? Where do I need to work on? Where are my weak spots? And then after they kind of fleshed out all your strengths and weaknesses, you focus on your weaknesses and you kind of fill in any gaps that you may have that's going to help you get to your next position. My next step in negotiating any raise is to always stay consistent with your work. Anything that you're presenting, you have to put your best foot forward. Always have professional demeanor, whether you're talking to someone in person or if you're emailing them, because people will remember the one bad conversation you have with them, or they'll remember that one time you sent them a bad report. Because even if you do 100 things right, if you do one thing bad, people are going to remember that. So always stay consistent, always stay sharp. Especially if you're looking to move up, make sure you are checking your stuff multiple times. Really put your due diligence in it. And also make sure that you're kind of keeping your superior in the loop of what you're working on, so that they're not kind of thinking that you're not taking as much initiative. So once you tell your direct superior that you're interested in getting a raise, then they're going to have it on their radar and then start seeing you at a different level, because then they're going to start comparing you and kind of seeing where you need to improve to get to that level. And then they're going to be able to talk to their superiors and kind of be like, she wants to be at this position. And then they kind of start holding you to higher standards, and then you also have to hold yourself to higher standards as well. I know job hunting can be really daunting and it's very nerve-wracking when you're trying to negotiate, but I hope that these tips are going to be able to help you have more confidence when you're negotiating your initial salary or negotiating a raise at your current job. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give this video a like. It really helps out my channel. Comment down below what your favorite tip is, or if you have a new tip for me to learn. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon so you know the next time I make a video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!